I made the same game in C++ with Raylib and in Python with Pygame. It is a simple Pong game where the computer controls both paddles. As you can see, the game runs smoothly at 60 frames per second. If I remove the frame per second limit, which version of the game will run faster and by how much? Let's find out. First of all, let's think about it for a second. Python is an interpreted language, which means that the code needs to be interpreted by the computer line by line every time the code is run. On the other hand, C++ is a compiled language, which means that the code is compiled into a set of instructions that the computer can understand once when we create the executable file. As a result, the C++ version of the game will run faster because the instructions are already compiled and ready to run. So, what is the speed difference between Python and C++? Depending on the complexity of the calculations, C++ is anywhere from 10 to 100 times faster than Python. Python programs also tend to use more RAM than applications built with C++. So, let's see if that's the case in this simple Pong game I developed. The algorithm for both the Python and the C++ projects is exactly the same. Let's first run the Python version of the game. I am using Python 3.11 and Pygame 2.13, and I'm only drawing primitive shapes on the screen. As you can see, the game runs at about 1000 to 1100 frames per second if we remove the frame per second limit on my computer, while at the same time I'm recording the screen at 2K resolution. It's pretty fast. Now let's run the same game developed in C++. I am using Raylib 4.2 as the graphics library, which is written in C. As you can see, the game now runs at about 3500 to 5000 FPS. From this result, we can see that the same game written in C++ and Raylib is from 3.5 to 5 times faster in execution than the same game written in Python and Pygame. Of course, given that Pong is such a simple game, we can use either language to develop it, since we will be limiting the frame rate to a value around 60. In more complex games though, where speed is an issue, C++ has a clear advantage. However, as I previously mentioned, Python is about 10 to 100 times slower than C++. Why is it only 4 to 5 times slower in this game? In this game, I used Pygame for the graphics. Pygame in reality is just a Python wrapper for the SDL graphics library, which is written in C. So the core graphic functions are implemented in C. This explains why the difference in speed is not as drastic as we would expect. If you are interested, there is a link to the code of the project in the video description. Also, I have prepared detailed tutorials on how to build this Pong game both in Python and in C++ in 2 separate videos. You can watch them by clicking here. These videos will help you improve your programming knowledge in a fun and engaging way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.